What's going on, guys? Matt here with Maple City Firearms, and today we're talking about the Esd Sling from Edgar Sherman Designs. ESD, ESD is, okay, so Edgar Sherman Designs, ESD. That's very redundant. I shouldn't have said that. It sounds stupid now. Okay, guys, so this sling is not attached to a gun. That doesn't bode well, because if I loved it, I'd have it attached to a gun, right? Yeah, kinda. That being said, I'm not gonna crap on this sling. It's a perfectly fine sling. So if you're watching this video to validate a purchase you already made but hasn't shown up yet, don't worry. There's a lot of good things to be said about this. Quick spoiler alert, I will say that it does some things well. I just think there's other slings that do it better. I'll try and keep this short. Let's just go over the main aspects of this sling real quick, because most of these quick adjustment slings are all the same. It's just a matter of how they adjust and a few of the other little features they may or may not have. So with that said, you're going to get a sling, obviously, that is not going to come with any of these QD mounts or QD attachments or whatever. It's not going to come with any type of attachments. That's pretty much how all slings are coming these days, guys. They're not going to come with an attachment, and if they do, you're probably going to be spending extra for that. So that's neither a hit against it or a compliment. So I go ahead and I use QD attachments. I use these D-ring style ones, the 1-inch ones. I find they work very well with this particular sling. As you can see, it is very small. There's no padding or anything on this. Again, not a knock on it. I have a number of different slings that don't have padding on them. I don't think that's just a personal preference thing. If you want a pad, this probably isn't for you. It does have quick adjustment right here. We will attach this to a gun in a little bit, and I'll show you how exactly that works. But as you can see, quick attachment. Now you might notice right here, this little brown section, that is going brown. It's probably coyote or something like that. I'm going to call it brown because it's freaking brown. So you'll notice this little piece right here, that is actually elastic, okay? And as you can see, that sort of aids in the keeping of the webbing as it's quickly adjusting and all that crap, whatever. But it also actually acts as a way of stowing part of this sling away when it's on your gun. I'll try and illustrate that later. I'll be perfectly honest with you. This has never really worked that well for me, which is surprising because a lot of people really like this design. So I will actually say this is a plus, because it's probably the only sling I think that I own that actually has a piece on it that is made to stow away the sling. The T-Rex arm sling comes with a couple different bungees that I found to be very helpful in keeping the sling stowed away. That's sort of an optional thing. This is actually included on the actual sling. So it's a neat idea. It just doesn't work well for me. Personal thing. But a lot of guys really like that. So kudos to them. And either way, it doesn't get in the way, so I'm not complaining about it. As you can see right here, what they utilize for the pull tab is just this little thing. It's kind of wraps in there like that. It's a piece of rubber, and you yank on it. And again, I'll show you more about that later. Very simple. You're going to have one of these on either side, okay? I don't know what the heck they're called, but they're made from by a company called Nexus. You're going to get one of these on either side. Some companies send two for further adjustability, if you will. But I think a lot of people probably appreciate the streamlined aspect of this particular sling. And yeah, so there you have it. You have one on each side, and makes it real simple to adjust these things. I always do my best to not have to cut off any material, because if I'm ever going to sell it to somebody else or put it on a sling that, or put on a gun rather, where I want the QD attachments to be farther apart, I will have regretted cutting off part of the sling. So I would suggest that you do a little bit of research before you do that. I wouldn't go around cutting up your sling. It's your sling, you do what you want. Maybe use some duct tape, or there's a number of tricks out there you can do to manage the length of your sling without actually having to cut it off. But that's just sort of a side note. So here's another thing right here, and this concerned me at first. I've kind of gotten over it. It's really not a big deal, but I think it might bother some people. So if you're looking to buy it, you might want to know this. Right there in the middle that meets these two is going to be another little Nexus. I don't know what these things are called, guys. I'm sorry. But it's one of these little plastic things, okay? This is very small, and it just seems to me that this would be a point that could potentially break. Now, I hate to be that guy on the internet who's just in his garage hypothetically looking at pieces of plastic. "I'll bet that would break when I'm in combat. Ugh." It's never going to break. I know it's never going to break, but I look at it and I think it's a little bit flimsy, okay? Now, if we go ahead and we look at a couple other options here. So this one right here, and I'm not comparing these slings necessarily, but this one right here is the Blue Force Gear Vickers sling, or whatever the heck it's called. I'll do a review of this one later. This one also has a plastic whatever holding two parts together, but it's just a little bit more robust, okay? It's thicker. It seems like it wouldn't break. Again, hypothetical conversations in the garage about what's going to break in combat, right? But here's an even better example. This is the Faro Concept Sling, and what they utilize here is actually a little metal ring thing, okay? So even better, okay? Because it's metal. Metal can't break! America! Anyway, shoot, sorry. So when I look at that, I think, feel like they could have used something better. But at the end of the day, it probably doesn't freaking matter. So that's the basic highlights of this sling. We're going to go ahead and cut. I'm going to toss this on a gun, and we're going to talk a little bit more about it. And then I'm going to let you go back to probably taking a crap. And we're back. Now we've got this attached to an AR pistol here, guys. Quick note about how I like to attach them. I like to go ahead and go to the right side of the gun on the stock or the pistol brace. I hate saying those words. And then I like to go on the left side of the gun, usually closer to the receiver. That's where I like to attach them. But this is what I was talking about earlier. I wouldn't personally want to cut off my sling, even if I wanted it cinched up a little bit more, because if I ever decide that I do want to utilize a QD attachment up here, or if I want to put it on a bigger gun, I may not be able to because I might have cut off too much already. But that's just a little side note, something for you guys to think about. You certainly can cut your sling if you want to. It's a free country, or at least it used to be. With that said, guys, this is a 10.5-inch gun. I put it on here for a purpose because a sling like this, with as slim as it is and as minimalistic as it is, I usually would probably only want to use this on a smaller, lighter weight gun, because a larger, more heavy firearm it has a tendency maybe to cut into the neck a little bit more if you don't have a little more support, a little more padding, okay? So with that said, let's talk about the quick adjustment on this thing. So if we are in this position right here, of course we just go ahead and reach here. What's cool about this is that it is easy to grab. The material is obviously different from the sling. One of the criticisms I've had of some of the other slings I'll be reviewing in the coming weeks and months is that the material is either exactly the same or very similar to the material on the actual sling. So when you're reaching for it and you're not really looking, it's sometimes hard to identify and you end up pulling the wrong thing. This one, there's no question, okay? So you grab that, really easy to grab, and you go ahead and adjust. It is very quick to adjust, okay? And there is a lot of adjustment. Look at that right there, guys. So it has more adjustment than a lot of the slings that I have behind me. Does that matter? Maybe. It kind of depends on you. For me, I don't need that much adjustment. I usually like to have my sling set up so that I don't even really need to adjust them. So from this position, bring it up here, get my arm out, and I can pretty much do everything I need to do from here. I don't even need to adjust it. It's good to have the adjustment, and I like having quick adjustment slings. But my goal, personally, just my thing, and I'm no expert, guys, I'm just pretending to be for the internet. It's really easy. If you talk fast enough and confidently enough, you can convince anyone you're an expert on anything. With that said, that's just kind of how I like to do it. So having all that adjustment, while it's cool to be able to, really stretch that thing out, it's really not that useful for me. But that being said, some of these slings you'll pick up and the adjustment just isn't there. There's not a whole lot of it. And I do kind of miss the adjustment, because I imagine, what if I wanted to put on 300 extra pounds and I needed to adjust that thing to accommodate my ever-growing girth? What would I do? Again, this is America. We should be able to do whatever we want. 600 pounds life, I'm coming for you, 2022. That's about all I have to say, guys. There's nothing else really to say about this sling. I can go ahead actually and demonstrate to you how to. This is going to be difficult standing up like this. Let's go ahead and pull up the knee, and let's see if I can go ahead and put this thing through here. As I've said, I've struggled to do it in the past, and I found it to be a little bit clunky. I'll just keep talking to make this less useless. That actually kind of works. Well, kind of. I don't know. I can't get it Someone tell me what I'm doing wrong. That doesn't really work. Again, you can do it. I've seen people do it. But it's not working for me, okay? It's not the way I like to do it, okay? I really like, and let me show you right here, I really like to just go with a bungee, okay? And that way I can put the bungee wherever I want on the gun, wherever it makes sense, and then I can go ahead and put the excess into that. This one, I can only put it in the one spot. Again, personal preference thing. Nothing wrong with what they do. In fact, I think it's kind of cool that they do that. What do you guys think? Do you like it? Do you think that I shouldn't do a review on a sling that maybe I don't like all that much? Should I only do reviews on things I like? It's already cutting into my neck. My neck is very sensitive, guys. I have a very sensitive neck. That's it, guys. That is the Edgar Sherman sling from Edgar Sherman Designs. It's the ESD sling from Edgar Sherman Designs. ESD stands for Edgar Sherman Designs. I'm done talking. You guys have a great day. Don't forget to wipe, stay armed, stay safe. It's starting to rain. You hear that rain? That's my cue.